Chewie fights Vader, plus we find out what's inside the Dark Temple, and we find out that Valence isn't such a bad guy after all in this week's episode of Star Wars Weekly. Hello fellow Star Wars fans, it's Starrapter here, and yes, such a big week for Star Wars. We are in a new era of Star Wars storytelling with The Mandalorian Episode 1 being released at the time of this recording, but we still have plenty of Star Wars comics to talk about. We have 3 of them to talk about today, and a very important issue. This is Star Wars issue number 74. Notice how Destination Toth is on that headline. Love that. I love this cover. Chewie fighting Vader. As I said, this is the penultimate issue of Star Wars. Yes, we are getting down to the line. 1 issue left after this coming out next week. But let's talk about what happened this week. We have Han, we have Darth Champion, we have Leia. They are on this mission to get a Star Destroyer to steer it to K-43. Where we have Chewie, who had bombs planted to kind of destroy these Star Destroyers. Meanwhile, you have Luke, who is with this Force-sensitive character named Warba, who is teaching him the ways of kind of being a Jedi, sort of, maybe not really, but anyway, we have everything. All these storylines are coming to a head. They're all coming to this one location of K-43, where now Luke is also being recalled back there to help, and this whole issue really just it felt like a penultimate issue. All these things are boiling up to this point, and we end it where Luke arrives on K-43. Chewie is there, and Chewie is trying to save Luke by basically fighting and buying Luke time fighting Darth Vader. It's pretty badass. So again, to some certain things I liked about this issue specifically is seeing a new creature in Star Wars. I'm pretty sure that Manglers were in Star Wars before. They are on this planet that Luke is on, and he's in a speeder chase with these things, and we see the stormtroopers are on them, kind of like how they mounted dewbacks, which is pretty interesting. I also liked how the storyline really got everything together with the communications through the holo communicators. A great use of the dialogue going in between different characters there. Seeing Luke saying goodbye to Warba and how she confessed to him at the end that, she was kind of BSing him the whole time. But deep down, Luke is such a good guy, and this is why I love Luke, and he's my favorite character. He is so honest, he is so true to himself and others, and he said, you know what, even if you didn't really mean to help me, you still helped me out anyway, and it's people like us that are going to have to stand up to the Empire, basically. So I really appreciated him saying that to her. Also, these rock people on K-43, they're called the Kakran. Them having this big surprise where they're able to channel electricity to just shut everything off, including the mines, which then shuts off all the ships flying around. That's why you see his X-Wing crash. So that was very surprising. Very, very cool touch there. I'm not sure what happened with Vader, because Vader's suit's pretty much all with electricity, so I guess it just shorted out and resumed again, maybe. And seeing Vader versing Chewie, this is a matchup that I think a lot of us, that had the action figures would always play. What would happen if this character fought against this character? It seems like something we would do with our action figures, right? So I really appreciated the toughness of a Wookiee like Chewbacca going against the resolve of Darth Vader and the ferocity of Darth Vader, and we're going to see what happens in that final issue coming out next week. And with another penultimate issue, that is a trend for this week, we have Jedi Fallen Order issue number 4. This is Dark Temple. So in this issue, we actually get inside the Dark Temple on Ontotho. We have these 2 factions, the Filar and the people of Da, of this corporation. They're vying over control of this certain area of the planet which has this Dark Temple. These people have their own reasons for being violent against one another. And we have the master of Cere Junda, Master Cordova. He believes that something inside this temple is what is causing this unrest on this planet. So he goes and he investigates, finds out that he's actually going to be hunted by these people of Da, and we find out that this is quickly dismantled, this attack, because Cere goes down inside this temple, and there's a temple guardian that just wipes out everybody, just takes them out. We have a survivor of Da's people calling back to his company saying, look, this Jedi killed us all. It wasn't really the Jedi, though. It was the Temple Guardian. Next thing you know, by the end of the issue, we have an entire army of the Da Corporation going against the people of Filar, while Cordova is in there, and then the people, somebody from the Filar says that there's some kind of secret weapon or something inside the Dark Temple, goes in there, sees that Cordova is trying to translate this Jedi, or not Jedi text, but this ancient text, and zaps him unconscious, it looks like, and that's how the issue ends. So first off, I like seeing that there's a different kind of language in Star Wars. This isn't Arabesh. This is something that these characters are not familiar with, so it's most likely some kind of ancient language. So just more world building with Star Wars. Thank you very much. I need more and more and more of that. We also have a flashback in the beginning of this issue, just like we've had all the previous issues of the second sister. She's in the location of the Dark Temple, and we finally see this connection, right, of where her story links up with this story like 20, 30 years ago, and it's because we see the droid of 3Leo, and they are making a reference saying that the Jedi are the ones that made this temple get destroyed where she was standing in it then, and she also noticed a different kind of language. So very curious about that, as this links into Jedi Fallen Order. I'm pretty sure we're going to go to the same exact location, so hopefully we'll find out exactly what all this means. Seeing a temple guard specifically is really cool because I know that's going to be a combatant that you're going against in Jedi Fallen Order. So you got a little preview of that, how its beam comes out and how it actually has a lot of good fighting prowess if it's able to take out an entire squad of guys. I also really like how there's a lot of deception. Like, even with the fourth issue down, we still don't know exactly whose side to be on, because just as soon as it seemed like the Dot Corporation was pretty good, now they're just bringing all their guns back and are going to just destroy this place. But then meanwhile, you have the people of Phylar harming Cordova by shocking him. So it's still that kind of haziness in the allegiances and who to really trust. And I think that's the whole concept of this story, is like you don't know who to trust, and it still could all be emanating from this dark temple. And just the mystery of the temple is just something that I find so fascinating, because it's almost like this foreboding existence in the background. But yes, we have Jedi Fallen Order coming out. As you're watching this, hopefully tonight at midnight it'll be out. I will be playing it, and by next month we'll get the final issue. So it's kind of interesting how they planned it out, where you'll most likely finish the game by the time the miniseries ends. Not sure how it ended up that way, but maybe there's a big spoiler in the last issue or something for the game. I'm not really certain about that. And for the last comic, we have Target Vader issue number 5. Again, this is another penultimate issue. We have one issue coming out next month, and they're all going to tie together in Empire Ascendant with Dr. Aphra, with Darth Vader, and with the Star Wars flagship. So this one really hooked me, guys. As a penultimate issue, this one did its job. It really fleshed out the character of Byron Valence more than I ever expected. From a character that I despised, he is now a character that I sympathize, and that is probably the best thing you could do for a character, right? I mean, that complete mind shift because of his backstory being so well done in this issue. So we pick up where Byron Valence was betrayed by Dengar in the last issue. He is now being interrogated. He is now being tortured by Darth Vader for any information upon with the whereabouts of the Hidden Hand, this rebel supplier of ammunition and weapons. And while he's being tortured, it kind of clicks in his head. He's just going through the flashbacks. We've seen this before about him and his father. He's a minor. His whole generations of his family, he's the first one to go to the Empire. He's very loyal in the Empire. He starts out in Han Solo Cadet, where he's doing the TIE training pilots, and he's piloting the TIE fighters. And then next thing you know, he gets hurt. Then he's demoted, he's doing the infantry, but he's still really loyal at that point. He still is one for the Empire until he gets really badly maimed, and to the point where he's all cybernetic pretty much, and they basically discharge him, telling him he has no more use. So what happens is he goes back to his home planet, and everybody's dead. Like, everybody's been killed, because what happened was the Empire strip mined all they could out of this planet, moved on, hence all the protection of the people of this planet went away. Then you had these raiders come in and just wipe out like pretty much everybody. So it sends him on this kind of mentality where, like, I can't do anything for the Empire anymore. They betrayed me, essentially, and now these raiders, I got to go after them. So he becomes more of a bounty hunter at that point. So we go back to present day. He does escape this torture chamber, and then he does find that Vader wants to basically welcome him back into the Empire, and Vader sends him on a mission to go get the Hidden Hand. He finds out that Uruk, the Tusken Raider, was one of these humans that was part of the Hidden Hand, and he makes them a deal, and that's where the issue ends. But overall, I really enjoyed these flashbacks. Did a great job of really just making me appreciate the character of Byron Valence, because I thought he was more of a jerk in Imperial Cadet, but then they make him be more sympathetic. I really appreciated that. I don't know what the significance of this red crystal. It looks like almost like a kyber crystal that this girl gave him before time. So I don't know if any of you guys caught that. I couldn't really see where that factored in with the rest of the story. I don't know if it was like part of his eye or something like that. He's got the red eye, maybe. Also with Minban, seeing that he was mortally wounded, we hadn't seen that before. So it's very interesting there, and seeing him doing physical therapy, I really got a kick out of that, because I used to want to be a physical therapist in a sense. So seeing that actually being done in the Star Wars universe was pretty cool, especially when they had the 21B droid as the physical therapist. I got a big kick out of that. But overall, I really enjoyed this issue. This was my favorite issue of the week for sure, and it definitely makes me really care about Valence. And now, since this issue, I'm very interested to see what happens with him in that Empire Ascended comic. If he's going to survive past the events of The Empire Strikes Back, we're going to see. Can't wait to see more. That last issue is coming out next month. So next week, you guys can look forward to me talking about Force Collector, the brand new young adult novel that's going to link into The Rise of Skywalker. We also have Star Wars issue number 75, the final issue of Star Wars, or as some like to put it, Star Wars Volume 2. Cannot wait to break those down with you guys next week. But you don't have to wait quite so long to hear my thoughts on Star Wars, because now with The Mandalorian out in its weekly cadence, you can expect me to break down those episodes. I've already broke down episode 1. Make sure you check out that review. I also talk about Star Wars Resistance, the animated Star Wars series going on the Disney Channel. I'll talk about that and review that on a weekly basis as well. So make sure you go ahead and check those out. And please do subscribe to the channel and hit that notification icon, as it'll make it a lot easier to see when the videos go up. That's going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.